Welcome to this Windows and computer channel, and I've had a flood of people commenting about, oh, well, I just saw that Windows 11 is coming because of a couple of websites that like to share what I call tech fake news, and that is funny because it's from time to time it reappears. Somebody will post and say, well, you were wrong, Windows 11 is coming, now we have proof. And you know you got to be careful, because a lot of these places, what they do is actually they apply what we call skins. So some of you have actually sent me pictures saying, well, yeah, look, this is Windows 11, look what it looks like, it's all different. It's different because they applied a skin over it. They redesigned themselves with software, or photoshopped a desktop. And often they apply the skin over the full Windows operating system, which means that they can actually actively go into the start menu or go into File Explorer and so on, and show you an active Windows that really is Windows 10 in reality, but that has had a facelift, if you want, using some of those skins and those software that can customize the interface. So I want to just remind everybody that Windows 11 is not a thing, and there's not even a hint of Windows 11 being something that Microsoft is thinking about at all. Now, a lot of you have been saying, well, why wouldn't there be a Windows 11? Remember that Microsoft changes its mind all the time. And whatever they say 3 years from now, 3 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, often they have changed course over time. When Windows 10 came out, they said this was the last version of Windows. 5 years later, because it came out in 2015, 5 years later in 2020, it's still the only version of Windows. It's still the last version of Windows. But you got to be careful in the word last, and that's the thing, because a lot of people are like, yeah, well, if it's the last version, when it will be finished? It's a evolving system all the time. There's no finish line of Windows 10. It's always going to evolve over time, depending on the future of technology. They don't need to do a Windows 11. It's not like before. The reason they needed to do different Windows was multiple in the past. First of all, to make sure that they sell Windows, because every time there was a new Windows, there was a spike in sales of Windows operating systems. There was also a spike in sales of PCs. So there was a will to drive that new version every 2 years or so. But the thing is, these operating systems also needed to have a new version, because the way they were built that at some point, with newer technologies, more memory and so on, the operating systems couldn't handle certain things. So we at some point arrived to where Windows 98, for example, couldn't handle what new tech was coming. We needed to have something new anyways. Windows XP was there. Windows XP arrived at a point where it was at its limits also. They couldn't tweak it forever. A service pack is adding layers. And when you add layers, at some point there's a moment where you just can't add more layers. It's crazy, it slows down, and it just is inefficient. When they designed Windows 10, they designed it in a different way. They designed it so that it can always be updated and always be modernized for its technologies that it uses, and for the new computers that are coming and the new technologies. And they did so in the sense that they just wanted to make sure that it continues and evolves over time, and that became Windows 10. And they don't have that need anymore for Windows 11, because they aren't in the same game as they were before also. When Windows was the main moneymaker, it was logical for them to make new versions so that they can actually sell as much as possible. But in today's world, where Windows, even though it's still a big chunk of money coming into Microsoft every year, it's not the driving force of Microsoft's, ecosystem. So they don't have and feel the need for that. They don't feel the need for a new Windows operating system called Windows 11. They just want to tweak around what they could do with Windows 10X, for example, and so on. But Windows 10 is still the last version of Windows. But like I said, 5 years ago, they said that. We said, okay. 5 years later, 2020, it's still there. So they still seem to believe that that is the case. But you never know when Microsoft changes its mind. And whatever you see on the web of people showing off on YouTube channels Windows 11 to try to make a lot of views is in reality Windows 10 with new skins and tweaked systems, but it's not Windows 11. It doesn't exist, never did exist, and it seems like it will never exist if Microsoft continues in the same way that they're doing right now. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.